be starting with chapter number 19 in David Copperfield, okay? And yesterday we come to know that he had a crush on somebody else, and it was kind of like a normalish chapter which was there, okay? Moving on, David is very attached to Dr. Strong and happy at school, but he's ready to move on to the next phase of his life. So David is now really attached to Dr. Strong. He's really attached to the school where he's studying, okay, and he's ready to move on to the next phase of his life. He's ready to leave school and go ahead in his life, okay. David and Miss Betsy spend a lot of time talking about what David should do with his life. So David and Miss Betsy, they spend a lot of time together talking what David should do ahead in life, what job he should do, etc, etc. Mr. Dick makes only one suggestion, that David should be a brazier. Miss Betsy looks so annoyed at this that Mr. Dick never tries to offer his opinion on the subject again. So there is Miss Betsy જે છે એ મિસ્ટર ડિકને પૂછે છે કે ડેવિડે શું કામ કરવું જોઈએ. તો મિસ્ટર ડિક છે ને મસ્તીમાં એમ કહે છે કે એને એક કટોરી લઈને ઊભું રહેવું જોઈએ જેની અંદર બધા લોકો કોલ નાખે, ઓકે, કોલસો નાખે. તો એને મસ્તીમાં એવું કીધું મિસ્ટર ડિકે કે ડેવિડને છે ને એક તપેલી જેવું લઈને ઊભું રહેવું જોઈએ જેમાં માણસો કોલસો નાખશે. So મસ્તીમાં એવું કીધું અને Miss Betsy gets very angry. Miss Betsy gets very irritated at Mr. Dick, and Mr. Dick says कि I will not talk on this topic ever again. I will leave up to you all to decide what David has to do. I am not going to interfere in this. One day around Christmas, Miss Betsy makes David a proposal. Why don't he go down to Yarmouth to see Peggotty? So it's Christmas time, and Miss Betsy is telling David that you should go and meet Peggotty. You should go and see Peggotty, okay. Miss Betsy tells David that his feelings for Peggotty are natural and rational, and that David should always be both of those things. So Miss Betsy tells David that Peggotty has taken so much care of you, and the feelings you have for Peggotty are very natural. They are very logical feelings you have, okay, because એને નાનપણથી ડેવિડને મોટો કરેલો છે. So the feelings that David has towards Peggotty are very natural, they are very logical, and he should have such feelings, he should have such thoughts in life, and that he should go ahead and meet Peggotty. So Miss Betsy જે છે ને એ ડેવિડને એમ કહે છે કે કે તારી જે ફિલિંગ્સ છે Peggotty માટે એ બહુ નેચરલ છે, એ બહુ લોજિકલ છે, અને તારે એને જઈને મળવું જોઈએ બિકોઝ એને તને નાનપણથી મોટો કરેલો છે, અને જે ફિલિંગ્સ જે છે તારે Peggotty માટે એ રિયલ છે, ઓકે, અને તારે લાઈફમાં આવી ફિલિંગ્સ રાખવી જોઈએ, નેચરલ એન્ડ લોજિકલ. David's aunt also comments that David is living an image of his mother with lots of his father in him as well. So David's auntie, that is Miss Betsy, tells David that you have qualities of both your mother and father, which is a very good thing. She advises David to be determined and morally firm. So Miss Betsy advises David that in life you should be determined. Determined એટલે તને ખબર હોવી જોઈએ તારે શું કરવું છે, અને તારે તારી વસ્તુનું એમ મોટિવેશન હોવું જોઈએ. લાઈક ડિટર્મિનેશન એટલે શું કહું, ફોર એક્ઝામ્પલ અગર હું એમ કહું કે મારે એક્ઝામ્સમાં ફર્સ્ટ રેન્ક જ લાવવો છે ગમે એ થાય, તો દેટ ઇઝ ડિટર્મિનેશન, હાર્ડ વર્ક. So Miss Betsy tells David that in life you should always be determined and morally firm. Morally firm એટલે સિદ્ધાંતવાદી બનવું જોઈએ. અગર તમને કોઈ વાર એવું લાઈફમાં લાગે કે તમારા સિદ્ધાંત ઉપર, તમારા મોરલ્સ ઉપર, તમારા એથિક્સ ઉપર કોઈ ક્વેશ્ચન કરે છે કે તમારા એથિક્સની અગેન્સ્ટ કઈ વસ્તુ છે, તો તમારે એ વસ્તુ ન કરવી જોઈએ. સો આ બધી એડવાઇસ જે છે એ મિસ બેટ્સી ડેવિડને આપે છે. Miss Betsy hands David a fair amount of money and sends him away. So Miss Betsy gives David some amount of money and tells him to go visit Peggotty. David stops at Canterbury to see Agnes and Mr. Wicklefield. Okay, now remember, David was with whom? Auntie. So while he was going to go to Yarmouth, he stops in the way to meet Mr. Wicklefield and to meet Agnes. David tells Agnes that she is good, gentle and always right, so he wants to confide in her. Agnes thinks it's another crush on a lady, but it isn't. And David also tells Agnes that there is no worthy of her love either. When Agnes falls in love, David tells her he will expect a lot of her fiancé. He thinks Agnes is so superior that he can't bear the thought of her trying herself to an unworthy admirer. So what happens is that while he is going to Yarmouth, he stops in the way to meet Mr. Wicklefield and Agnes. When he meets Agnes, he tells Agnes that I want to tell you something and I want to share my feelings to you, and I want to share something with you. So Agnes thinks it must be David's another crush, maybe David is in love again and David wants to share his thing with her. But it is not like that, okay? David tells Agnes that you are a very, very special, okay, and whoever falls in love with you, make sure that that person takes care of you and that person treats you well. Okay, never fall in love with somebody who is not worth it and does not admire you or does not respect you for who you are. સો હવે જે ડેવિડ જે છે જ્યારે એ યારમોથ જતો હોય છે ત્યારે વચ્ચે એ વિકલફિલ્ડ અને એગ્નેસને મળવા માટે ઊભો રહે છે. એગ્નેસને એ એમ કહે છે કે મારે તને એક વાત કહેવી છે, મારે તને એક વસ્તુ મારે તારી યારે શેર કરવી છે. તો એ પોઈન્ટ ઓફ ટાઈમ પર એગ્નેસને એવું લાગે છે કે કદાચ ડેવિડ ફરીવાર પ્રેમમાં છે, કદાચ ડેવિડને ઓર કોઈ ગર્લ ગમે છે એન્ડ ઓલ દેટ. બટ ઇટ્સ નોટ લાઈક દેટ. ડેવિડ જે છે એ એગ્નેસને એમ કહે છે કે તું બહુ સારી છો, તું બહુ જેન્ટલ છો, તું બહુ જ ઇનોસન્ટ છો અને તારે તારો ફિયોન્સે એવો ગોતવો જોઈએ જે તને રિસ્પેક્ટ કરે અને તને એડમાયર કરે. ઓકે, Agnes seizes the opportunity to ask David something since she will probably not see him again for some time soon. She wants to know if David has observed any changes in Mr. Wicklefield. David has possibly, as a result of Mr. Wicklefield's drinking so much, his physical condition is getting worse. So Agnes takes this opportunity and tells David that, okay, I also want to share something with you. I also want to ask you something. Agnes knows that she will not see David for a long period of time because he Yarmouth જાય છે. So he will not be able to, Agnes won't be able to meet David for a long period of time. Agnes asks David કે તને શું લાગે છે મારા ફાધરની અંદર શું ચેન્જીસ આવ્યા છે? તો ડેવિડ એમ કહે છે કે તારા ફાધર જે છે એ બહુ જ દુબળા લાગે છે, બહુ જ બીમાર લાગે છે, એન્ડ દેટ ઇઝ બિકોઝ એ બહુ દારૂ પીવે છે અને બહુ ડ્રિંક કરે છે. એના લીધે હી ઇઝ લુકિંગ વેરી સિક, હી ઇઝ લુકિંગ વેરી વેરી બેડ. Mr. Wicklefield's hands tremble all the time. His speech is unclear and he seems totally stressed out. Whenever Mr. Wicklefield is clearly at his most stressed, Uriah Heep calls on him to work. And the more that Uriah Heep calls on Mr. Wicklefield to work, when he is unfit, the more nervous and unsettled Mr. Wicklefield becomes. So Mr. Wicklefield's condition has become very, very bad. His hands shake. He is not able to speak properly. And all this is maybe because he is stressed out about something. એની લાઈફમાં કાંઈક સ્ટ્રેસ છે અને એના લીધે કોન્સ્ટન્ટલી જે મિસ્ટર વિકલફીલ્ડ છે એના હાથ ધ્રુજતા હોય છે, એની બોલી ક્લિયર નથી. And what happens is, even in this condition, Uriah Heep tells Mr. Wicklefield that you should work. Don't give up working, you should work. And whenever Mr. Wicklefield goes to the office to work, his condition becomes more bad. He becomes more in tension. Okay? David tells Agnes that just the other day he saw Mr. Wicklefield put his head in his arms and cry like a child. Agnes stops David from talking because Mr. Wicklefield comes into the room. David observes that Agnes looks at Mr. Wicklefield with great gratitude, love and worry of his condition. David is deeply moved by her feelings for her father. So David tells Agnes that I remember कि one day David એમ કહે છે એગ્નેસને કે મને યાદ છે કે હું એની ઓફિસમાં ગયો હતો ને ત્યારે મિસ્ટર વિકલફીલ્ડ હાથ આમ રાખીને રોતા હતા, બહુ જ રોતા હતા. That means that he was in tension. That means he was in some sort of problem which he was not telling. At this point of time, Mr. Wicklefield is coming inside the room. So Agnes says, shh, don't talk about him. He is coming in the room. You keep quiet. David sees that Agnes is very attached to the father. Agnes gives a lot of respect to the father, loves the father, and really, really takes care of the father. And looking at this, David is really happy because Agnes is taking so much care of the father. The Wicklefields and David are due at Dr. Strong's house for tea. So Mr. Wicklefield and David, they are supposed to go to Dr. Strong's house to have tea. Dr. Strong tells them that he plans to retire soon and leave his school to his lead teacher. The schoolmaster asks Mr. Wicklefield to draw up the contracts for him when the time comes. Mr. Wicklefield warns Dr. Strong once again not to let himself to be taken advantage of. Once Dr. Strong has retired, he will think of only two things, his dictionary and Annie. Annie looks timidly at Mr. Wicklefield. So now what happens is that when they go to the house of Dr. Strong to have tea, Dr. Strong tells Mr. Wicklefield that I want to retire, I want to leave school, and now I will make one of the teacher as the head of the school. I am personally going to retire from the school, and before I retire from the school, I want to make a contract, I want to make a deal and give it to the head teacher. Obviously, right? કે deal કે contract જેવું એને દેવું પડે ને, because Dr. Strong ની school છે. So Mr. Wicklefield tells Dr. Strong that you are very kind-hearted person, you are a very sweet person, you are a very nice person, and people take advantage of you. So make sure that that doesn't happen. And he says that why do you want to retire? If you retire, you're going to sit in the house, you're going to write your dictionary, you're going to write your story, and you're going to spend that time reading that story and that dictionary to Annie. At this point of time, Annie is in the room and Annie looks very suspiciously towards Mr. Wicklefield. Suspiciously એટલે શકથી Mr. Wicklefield towards જોવે છે, because Annie ને Mr. Wicklefield બહુ ગમતા નથી હોતા. Okay. Mr. Wicklefield notices that Dr. Strong has received a letter from India. Annie's mother chimes in. She is sure that Jack Meldon is very sick with what having to live in India's hot climate. Mr. Wicklefield asks if Jack Meldon has actually said anything about illness in his letters. Annie's mother admits that Jack Meldon has not said that he is sick, but that he also never would. Jack Meldon would never complain if it meant violating Dr. Strong's plan for him. So at this point of time, Mr. Wicklefield notices that there is a letter in Dr. Strong's house. The letter has come from India. Obviously, who has sent the letter to him? Jack Meldon. Now in the letter, Dr. Strong asks what is there in the letter. So Annie ની જે mother હોય છે એ એમ કહે છે કે I am sure કે Jack Meldon is fallen sick in India because India no climate બહુ hot હોય છે. You know that Indian climate is very hot and London ma it is very cold. So it is natural कि Jack Meldon would have been sick. Jack Meldon would have been very ill. Okay. So Mr. Wicklefield એમ પૂછે છે ડોક્ટર સ્ટ્રોંગ ને કે એને લેટરમાં એવું કાંઈ લખ્યું છે કે બીમાર છે કે એને કાંઈ તકલીફ છે? તો ડોક્ટર સ્ટ્રોંગ કહે છે ના, એને એવું કાંઈ નથી લખ્યું. તો એનીના મધર છે ને એ એમ કહે છે કે એ એવી વસ્તુ લેટરમાં નહીં લખે, बिकॉज ये अगर એવું લખશે તો ડોક્ટર સ્ટ્રોંગે એના માટે જે પ્લાન્સ બનાવ્યા છે, ડોક્ટર સ્ટ્રોંગે એના માટે જે વિચાર્યું છે એ વસ્તુ નહીં કરી શકે. એટલે ડોક્ટર સ્ટ્રોંગનું માન રાખવા માટે એને લેટરમાં નહીં લખ્યું હોય કે એ બીમાર છે, કે he is very sick or he is not doing well. Dr. Strong puts in that these Mr. Wicklefield's arrangement. Dr. Strong would have been fine with having Jack Meldon either at home or abroad. Mr. Wicklefield adds that he was the one to send Jack Meldon abroad. Annie's mother predicts that Jack Meldon will die in India before coming home and running anyone's arrangement for him. Dr. Strong totally doesn't mind changing arrangement if Jack Meldon is really as sick, all that. He would be happy to find Jack Meldon a more suitable job here in England if that's the case. So Dr. Strong tells that, you know, it was Mr. Wicklefield who had sent Jack Meldon to India. Okay, and Mr. Wicklefield says that મેં જેક મેલ્ડનને ઇન્ડિયા મોકલ્યો હતો because જેક મેલ્ડનને પોતાને અબ્રોડ જવું હતું. એને અહીંયા નહોતું રહેવું, એને પોતાને અબ્રોડ જવું હતું, એટલે મેં એને ઇન્ડિયા મોકલ્યો. તો એનીની મોમ છે ને એમ કહે છે કે ઇન્ડિયાઝ ક્લાઇમેટ ઇઝ સો હોટ, ઇન્ડિયાઝ ક્લાઇમેટ ઇઝ સો લાઇક ધીસ, યુ નો જેક મેલ્ડન ઇઝ ગોઈંગ ટુ ડાઈ, ઇવન બિફોર હી કમ્સ હોમ હી વિલ ડાઈ. So Dr. Strong says that, look, I have never told Jack Meldon to go abroad. If he wants to come back home, I will make sure that he gets a job in England also. So you don't worry, if you want, call Jack Meldon back. I will find him a job in England also. Annie's mother is so overcome by doctor's generosity that she praises him repeatedly and demands that Annie show her gratitude. Throughout all these, Annie stays silent with her eyes cast down. Annie's mother reads out a piece of Jack Meldon's letter to Dr. Strong. Apparently, Jack has been sick and he has to come back to England to recover for time. The pushy lady demands that Annie produce the letter. Jack Meldon wrote to her so that Annie's mother can read out the bits of it too. So now what happens is Annie's mother tells Annie's mother says that she is very grateful to she's very grateful to Dr. Strong because Dr. Strong એના cousin ના બારામાં એટલું વિચારે છે, right? So he's like, you're so nice, you're so sweet, you're thinking about Jack Meldon and all that. And Annie's mother tells Annie that you should respect Dr. Strong, show your respect to Dr. Strong. Look what he is doing for your cousin. Okay. So at this point of time, Annie's mother tells everyone that Jack Meldon had written a letter to Annie, and in that letter to Annie, Jack Meldon had said that he is very sick in India and he has to come back to England to recover from his bad health. And Annie's mother tells Annie that show that letter, okay? So એવું થાય છે કે જેક મેલ્ડને જે છે ને એને એનીને લેટર લખ્યો હોય છે અને એનીવાળા લેટરમાં જેક મેલ્ડને લખ્યું હોય છે કે હું ઇન્ડિયામાં બહુ બીમાર છું અને હું મારે ઇંગ્લેન્ડ આવવું પડશે મારી તબિયતને સરખી કરવા માટે. અને એનીની માને આ ખબર હોય છે અને એનીની માં એનીને એમ કહે છે કે તું દેખાડી લેટર કે આવો લેટર આવ્યો છે જેક મેલ્ડનથી, ઓકે? અને એનીની મોમ જે છે એ એનીને એમ કહે છે કે જો ડૉક્ટર સ્ટ્રોંગ આપણા માટે કેટલું કરી રહ્યા છે, તું એને રિસ્પેક્ટ કર, તું એને show your respect, love him and all that, okay? Annie doesn't want to, but Annie's mother insists. Annie's mother reads out a, shall we say, warmly worded passage about how much Jack Meldon hates India and wants to come home. It's unclear whether he has actually been sick. He says that being there is unsupportable. In other words, that it sucks. Jack Meldon insists on coming home either on a sick leave or by resigning from his job. Mr. Wicklefield says nothing, but he looks thoughtful and severe. The doctor likes music, so Agnes and Annie sing several duets together. So Annie does not want to show that letter to anyone, but Annie's mother keeps telling Annie, show that letter, show that letter, show that letter. So Annie finally shows the letter to them. In the letter, it was a very twisted thing that was written. The letter never mentioned that Jack Meldon was sick. But in the letter, it said that, he doesn't like India, he hates the climate of India, and the climate of India doesn't support him. That's what it was written. It didn't say directly that he was sick. It said that the climate of India does not support him, and Jack Meldon is planning to come on a sick leave, or he will resign, or he will leave his job and come back to England, okay? And at this point of time, Mr. Wicklefield is also thinking, he is also in the deep thought, and Dr. Strong puts on the music, and Agnes, who is the daughter of Mr. Wicklefield, and Annie, both of them sing songs together. So Annie જે છે એને લેટર નહોતો દેખાડો, પણ એનીની માં જે છે એને ક્યારની ફોર્સ કરતી હતી કે તું લેટર દેખાડ એટલે ઓલી લેટર દેખાડે છે અને એનીની મોમ જે છે એ લેટર રીડ કરે છે. લેટરમાં ક્યાંય પણ એવું નથી લખ્યું કે જેક મેલ્ડન બીમાર છે, પણ ઊંધા ગોળમાં એમ જ લખ્યું છે કે જેક મેલ્ડનને ઇન્ડિયા નથી ગમતો, ક્લાઇમેટ એને સપોર્ટ નથી કરતો અને એ ઇંગ્લેન્ડ આવવા માંગે છે સિક લીવમાં કે પછી જોબ છોડીને આવશે, ઓકે? David notices that Mr. Wicklefield doesn't seem to approve of his friendliness between Agnes and Annie. David recalls that night when Jack Meldon left for India and begins to feel suspicious about Annie's behavior. Still, the evening passes quickly. When it's time for David and the Wicklefields to leave, something odd happens. So David notices કે Agnes અને Annie close છે અને આ વસ્તુ એગ્નેસના ફાધર એટલે મિસ્ટર વિકલફિલ્ડને નથી ગમતી કે એગ્નેસ અને એની ક્લોઝ છે. બીજી એક બહુ વિયર્ડ વસ્તુ છે કે એનીનો બિહેવિયર જ્યારે જેક મેલ્ડન ઇન્ડિયા માટે જતો હતો ત્યારે બહુ વિચિત્ર હતો. વેરી વેરી ઓડ બિહેવિયર Annie had shown when Jack Meldon was leaving for India, which shows that maybe Annie and Jack Meldon could have an affair, but it's not confirmed, okay? And as they are about to leave, there is something very, very odd that happens. Agnes reaches over to hug and kiss Annie, but Mr. Wickle physically steps between them and pulls Agnes away. David finds this incredibly strange and feels as though he is leaving the doctor's house under a dark cloud. David worries that doctor's kindliness may be betrayed. The next morning, David departs from Mr. Wicklefield's house. David does his best to appear as old as possible, so he addresses the coachman considerably and in a gruff voice. So now what happens is there is something very weird that happens. Okay, Agnes, when they are leaving, okay, now what happens ki Dr. Strong na ઘરે થી Mr. Wicklefield, David અને Agnes પાછા ઘર માટે જઈ રહ્યા હોય છે. ત્યારે એગ્નેસ જે છે એ એનીને ભેટવા માટે જાય છે અને એને ગાલ ઉપર કિસ કરવા માટે જાય છે. ત્યારે Mr. Wicklefield comes in between and tells Agnes not to do that. He tells Agnes don't. So it's a very strange scene. It's a very odd scene, okay? Because imagine you are going to hug someone, you are going to say goodbye to someone, someone pulls your hand and says don't do that. So how are you going to feel? The opposite person, how is the opposite person going to feel? Okay, so in all this time David feels bad for Dr. Strong. He feels that Dr. Strong is going to get betrayed. Mr. Dr. Strong હારે કંઈક ધોકો થવાનો છે. એક તો ડેવિડને શક છે કે આ એનીનો અફેર ભાઈ જેક મેલ્ટન હારે હાલે છે. એટલે મનમાં ને મનમાં ડેવિડને એમ થાય છે કે કદાચ ડોક્ટર સ્ટ્રોંગ હારે ધોકો થશે, ડોક્ટર સ્ટ્રોંગને બિટ્રેયલ ફેસ કરવું પડશે. ઓકે, now what happens is that they all go, and now the day comes when David has to leave. So David is going by train, he is going all alone. તો હવે પેલા જમાનામાં શું થતું કે તમે અગર બહુ યંગ હો ને તો તમને કોઈ એકલા ટ્રાવેલ ન કરી દે. એટલે ડેવિડ જાણી જોઈને એનો અવાજ, એનો લુક થોડોક ઓલ્ડ કરે છે તાકી એને ટ્રાવેલિંગમાં કોઈ પ્રોબ્લેમ ન થાય અને એને ઇઝીલી એ ટ્રાવેલ કરી શકે. ઓકે, David tells the coachman he is heading to Suffolk, the country where he is from. The coachman thinks that David is going hunting in Suffolk and comments on some aspects of food over there. David suddenly feels awkward. He is from Suffolk, but the coachman seems to know much more about it than he does. And it gets worse. The man sitting behind David is horse and a dog breeder. So now what happens is that David tells the coachman, જે coachman હોય છે એને David કહે છે કે he is going back to his country, he is going back to his house in Suffolk. Remember where Ukeri was. So he is saying that I am going to Suffolk. So this man whom David was talking to, જે ટીટી કે કોઈ જે ટ્રાવેલર જે એને લઈ જવાનો હોય છે, તો એ માણસ ડેવિડને ઘણી વસ્તુ કહે છે સુફલકની કે સુફલકમાં આ સારું છે, સુફલકમાં આ સારું છે, સુફલકમાં આ સારું છે. ડેવિડ પોતે સુફલકથી હોય છે પણ એને આટલી બધી વસ્તુ નથી ખબર હોતી કે સુફલકમાં આટલી બધી વસ્તુ પણ છે, કે આટલી બધી વસ્તુ તમે બાય કરી શકો, આ વસ્તુ તમે અહીંયા ખાઈ શકો, આ વસ્તુ તમે શિકાર કરી શકો, આ વસ્તુ તમે હન્ટ કરી શકો. તો આ બધી વસ્તુ even David did not know, even though he was from Suffolk. The coachman tells David that it seems wrong that such a great man should be sitting behind David. So David, blushing, offers the breeder his seat. David feels that he has somehow lost face. The order of seats in the coach is supposed to determine social status. And David has been physically moved down by some random dude with squint who works with the horses. Even so, riding in the carriage with a pocket full of money is a new and refreshing experience for David, and overall he is enjoying the trip. So he is in the ઘોડા ગાડી. ઓકે, ઘોડા ગાડીમાં એની વાહે જે માણસ બેઠેલો હોય છે એ માણસ જે છે એની પાસે એ એક કૂતરા અને ઘોડા રાખતો હોય છે. ઓકે, so David feels very awkward about him, and this coachman who is there tells David कि you shift your places, you sit where this person is sitting and give your seat to this person. So David does that and he realizes that actually he is sitting lower. ઓકે, ઘોડા ગાડીમાં એ એકચ્યુઅલી થોડોક નીચે બેસી ગયો છે. હવે જૂના જમાનામાં એવું હતું કે તમે તમારી સ્ટેટસ તમે તમારા ઇન્કમની હિસાબથી બેસતા. ઓકે, ફોર એક્ઝામ્પલ અગર હું બહુ રિચ છું તો હું ઉપર બેસીશ, અગર હું પુઅર છું તો હું નીચે બેસીશ. તો એને એમ થાય છે કે અરે હું ક્યાં નીચે બેસી ગયો, આ ઘોડાવાળો અને કૂતરાને રાખવાવાળો માણસ મારી કરતાં ઉપર છે. બટ he doesn't say anything. He sits very quietly. He has a lot of money with him and he is feeling proud about the fact that he's traveling with so much money and that he's going all on his own and he's enjoying the trip. They drive by David's old school Salem house and he has a brief fantasy of getting out of the carriage and whipping Mr. Crackle. David stops at a hotel in London. Again, he tries to impress the waiter with his deep voice, but it doesn't seem to work that well. Anyways, David has dinner. After dinner, David goes to see a play on Shakespeare, Julius Caesar. So now what happens is, as David is going to the house, David comes next to the Salem house. Salem house is શું? એની બોર્ડિંગ સ્કૂલનું નામ હોય છે. અને એની એવી ઈચ્છા હોતી હોય છે કે મને ઘોડાગાડીમાંથી ઉતરવું છે અને મિસ્ટર ક્રેકલને મારીને આવું. એવી એને મનમાં ઈચ્છા થાય છે, ડ્રીમ થાય છે, ફીલ થાય છે. ઓબ્વિયસલી તમને બી એવું કોઈક વાર ફીલ થાય કે આ માણસને મારી આવું, આ માણસ મારી સામું હોય છે ને એનું ગળું દબાવી નાખું. લાઈક ધેટ. ઓકે. So David passes through Salem house and he wishes that he gets down off the horse and that he goes and he beats Mr. Crackle up. એને એવી ઈચ્છા થતી હોય છે. Okay. Now again what happens, David stops at London. David goes inside the hotel to have dinner. After dinner, David decides to go and watch a play on Shakespeare, which is Julius Caesar. So David London જાય છે, લંડનમાં એ ડિનર કરે છે અને ડિસાઇડ કરે છે કે એ શેક્સપિયરનો પ્લે જુલિયસ સીઝર જોવા જશે. He is delighted to see all these Romans walking across the stage to entertain him. David is so impressed by the scenery and costuming that he can barely contain himself. Finally, David goes back to the hotel where he slowly comes to recognize a handsome, well-dressed young man sitting by the fire in the common room. David passes this young man on his way to the bed and suddenly recognizes him. It's Steerforth. Even though David recognizes him, as soon as he sees Steerforth, clearly Steerforth doesn't put it together right away. Okay? So what happens is David goes to watch the play Julius Caesar અને જ્યારે એ પ્લે જોવા ગયો હોય છે ત્યારે એને બહુ મજા આવે છે પ્લે જોવામાં. જોવે છે કે કેવા લોકો પરફોર્મ કરે છે, લોકોના કોસ્ટ્યુમ્સ કેટલા સરસ છે. આ બધી વસ્તુથી ડેવિડ બહુ ઇમ્પ્રેસ થઈ જાય છે. પ્લે જોયા બાદ ડેવિડ કમ્સ બેક ટુ ધ હોટેલ. At the hotel, he sees that there is a young man who is sitting next to the fire. He recognizes the young man and it is who? James Steerforth. Steerforth કોણ હતો? Salem house માં એનો ફ્રેન્ડ હતો ઈ. So it is Steerforth who is sitting by the fire. Okay, and David recognizes him. Suddenly Steerforth exclaims, "My God, it's little Copperfield." David is so excited to see Steerforth that he almost cries. Steerforth tells David to calm down a bit, but Steerforth also seems pleased to see David. Currently, Steerforth is studying at Oxford, but he is on his way to visit his mother. So suddenly Steerforth realizes कि अरे आ तो Copperfield है. So Steerforth says, "Oh, you are little Copperfield. How are you?" So David is also so excited and David is about to cry with all the love, with all the happiness. Steerforth tells David to calm down. He is also very happy to see Steerforth. David is also happy to see Steerforth. Steerforth is also happy to see David. Steerforth is studying in Oxford. Oxford एक जगह है, okay? Steerforth is studying in Oxford and he is going to visit his mother. Okay? હવે Steerforth લંડનમાં નથી રહેતો પણ એ એની માને મળવા જતો હોય છે. ઈ ઓક્સફર્ડમાં ભણતો હોય છે. ઓકે? David informs Steerforth that he has just been in a play and it was delightful and magnificent. Steerforth laughs at David and tells him he is truly fresh and naive. Steerforth has also just seen that play and it was miserably bad. Steerforth asks the waiter that what room David has been assigned. Apparently it's awful room just over the stables. The waiter apologizes and offers David the room next to Steerforth since they hadn't realized that David was anybody in particular. So what happens is that David tells Steerforth, you know what, I went and I watched the play and the play was really nice and all. So Steerforth દાંત કાઢે છે અને Steerforth કહે છે તું તો હજી બી એટલો ઇનોસન્ટ છો, તું હજી બી એટલો ક્યુટ છો. અને ડેવિડને કહે છે કે એ પ્લે બહુ જ ખરાબ હતો, બહુ એટલે બહુ ખરાબ, તને ક્યાંથી એ પ્લે ગમ્યો. અને ડેવિડ જે છે ને એને બહુ ઓર્ડિનરી રૂમ મળ્યા હોય છે, બહુ ખરાબ રૂમ મળ્યો હોય છે. સો સ્ટીયરફોર્થ વેટરને રિક્વેસ્ટ કરે છે કે તું મને ડેવિડનો રૂમ મારી પાસે આપ. ઓકે. Steerforth laughs at terrible room David was given and invites him to breakfast the next morning. David is thrilled and falls asleep looking forward the new day. So Steerforth laughs at David because David was given a very very bad, very very ganda room. So So Steerforth laughs at him and he tells, don't worry, मैं तारो room change करावी दीधो छे. Steerforth tells David कि you are going to have breakfast with me, so come have breakfast with me in the morning. So David is very excited. He goes to sleep and he's waiting to have breakfast with Steerforth.